fuck is you?
I'm your favorite nigga in the streets, your favorite rapper in the booth. I'm that 100 in your liquor, when they say 100 proof. When you was broke, all your so-called homeboys ain't come through. I was that feeling up in you that made you finally
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? It's Trail Different, the content creator. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make professional sounding music like this.
We was popping the bottles, y'all was popping the collars, y'all was robbing the ballers, we was robbing the robbers. Before I used to rob, I used to steal. Now I rob, you used to steal. You come my way, I'm the king of the hill. I'm Jack and Jill, I do this shit for real. I'm hitting licks, fuck a fucking deal. Right to a Bel Air top of Uncle Phil. Paper trail full of niggas real in the field. Paper trail full and took your bitch on the date.
On a budget of little to no money. Let's get it. Now, stick with me to the end of this video and I will be showing you exactly what you will need to produce this star quality sound. But before I get started, let me go over some of the benefits of having your own studio versus paying for studio time. First of all, you can record whenever you want. You can wake up in the morning, cut it on, do what it do. When you have a fresh idea, if you're a freestyle type artist, you can just do what you do whenever you want to. You got the intimate setting. You can set it up however you want to. You ain't got to worry about if you like me and you a little shy on the mic sometimes. You ain't got to worry about none of that. And you can mix it exactly how you got it in your mind. You ain't got to worry about trying to get somebody else to understand your vision. Exactly what you got in your mind, you can translate that into reality. Exactly the way that you hear it. And most importantly, it's cost effective. If you really think about it, by the time you spend, let's say you paying $40 an hour, and that's kind of a deal for studio time. By the time you record a solid mixtape, you've been done paid for a whole studio low key. And if you plan on having a whole career, then it'll just be a better investment business wise. I mean, come on now, this America. Now, moving on. Next, I want to explain hardware and software. Those are the two things that you're going to need to complete your studio setup. Now, the hardware, that's like the physical things that you need for the setup that you gotta have. And the software is it's pretty much just the programs that's gonna be running on the computer. Now let's start with the hardware. With the hardware, you're only gonna need four things. Four things, that's it. One, the computer. That's a laptop. You don't need a desktop, and you would prefer to have a laptop. It's more portable. Second, you're gonna need a mic. Third, you're gonna need an interface. And fourth, you're gonna need studio headphones. And I'm gonna break all that down to you. But first, let's start with the computer. Now, the computer is gonna be like the center of the operation. Your setup is gonna be based around the computer. It don't matter if it's a Mac or Windows or none of that. It don't matter. It could be an old computer, a new computer, but be aware certain programs, the compatibility with certain programs and certain computers, it varies, So just be aware of that. You do not need Wi-Fi. You don't even need Wi-Fi. So you have no excuse. You don't even need Wi-Fi. All you need is a computer. Now, back in the day, I got my computer from the pawn shop. I paid maybe about $150 for it, but they had some that was cheaper. They had some that was more expensive. That's just the one that I got. Also, I just did a search online on used laptop computers, and you can get one for as low as $50. You have no excuse. For as low as $50. Yes, you can go on Google and look at it right now. But you can go to pawn shops, different things, if you don't already have a computer. But you need to get a computer. So expect to spend between $50 and $250 if you're on a budget for a computer. Next, you're going to need an interface. The interface is what connects the mic to the computer. It's pretty much like a middleman. I looked up interfaces online. They had some as low as $50. You might even be able to find some cheaper. They also got them at pawn shops, just like the computers. All the hardware that I'm telling you about today, you can find these things online, used, brand new, whatever. Or you could get them at pawn shops. You can go to Guitar Center, but you could just do the research on that. The interface that I use is called the M Audio M-Track Solo. I bought it online. I paid about $50 for it. Back in the day, I think it even came with free Pro Tools or some shit like that, but a family member stole it or whatever, which is how I ended up getting into the free programs or whatever for the software, but we'll get into that in a second. The M Audio M-Track Solo is good if you just trying to record yourself, mix and master yourself. Now, I must warn you that you might want a duo interface or something like that, which means that it got 2 headphone jacks instead of 1 if you trying to record other people or charge people for studio time or something like that. Otherwise, you could still record other people and things like that just as easy. The only thing is when you want to play back their music or hear it out loud to check on it, you're going to have to pass the headphones back and forth. But that's it for the interface. Next is the mic. You want to get a condenser mic. Make sure you remember that, a condenser mic. Also, a warning. It's like 2 kinds of condenser mics that I know of. One, you connect it straight to the computer through like a USB port or maybe to the interface, but you connect it with a USB port. The other kind is like a 3-prong type setup that you use to plug in and out. I'm going to include a picture of what I'm talking about. But I'm only experienced with the 3-prong one, and I suggest you get that one to plug into your interface. Now online, I looked up condenser mics, and they had them as low as $40. The condenser mic that I'm using is called the Samson CO1. It costs $80 brand new, but you can get it used offline for $40. I will include a picture of that. And last but not least, for the hardware, we have a bonus because it's not mandatory, it's optional. But I'm talking about studio monitor speakers. Now, looking online, I've seen studio monitor speakers for anything from $55 to $350. But like I say, they are not necessary. You do not need them. You can still record professional sounding song with no issues, with no studio monitor speakers. You just only really need them to just play it back in the studio if you got other people around and things like that. But moving on to software. Now that you have spent all the money that you are going to have to spend, it's time to move on to the software. Now for the software, I usually use 3 programs. They are all 3 free programs. For mixing, I use Audacity. And for mastering, I use Fruity Loops 12. And I use LandR. A lot of people use Pro Tools. A lot of people use a lot of other programs. A lot of people think that they really need to spend a lot of money and do a lot of extra things to really get the sound that their favorite artists that they listen to have. But no, using these 3 programs that I just showed you, Audacity, Fruity Loops 12, and LandR, you could do the same exact thing, maybe even better, and definitely cheaper. Now, In the future, if you have any questions or need any tips or advice or anything, make sure to comment in the comment section anything that you would like to know. I plan on making tutorial videos in the future on how to set up the hardware and how to use the software and all those type things. But thank you for staying to the end of the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos for beginners. But for more tips and tricks for those that's trying to start their own home studio and independent artists and things like that, that's trying to do this and create a big production on a small budget, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned.
Who the fuck is you?
I'm your favorite nigga in the streets, your favorite rapper in the booth. From that 100 in your liquor, when they say 100 proof. When you was broke, all your so-called homeboys ain't come through. I was that feeling up in you that made you finally chunk the deuce. Feel me inside.